Hi, this is Angie with the Twisted Sister Hop. Let's go ahead and get started with this two-page layout. And there may be not one or two, maybe a little bit more twists in this two-page layout. Oops, that got stuck. Let me get that unstuck. There you go. That's not an extra piece that goes on that layout. So let's go ahead and start with the paper. All the paper that I used, all the cardstock I used, name and so forth, will be in the description. Our two-sided paper, light and dark, and of course tearing it towards me kind of gives it that shore look. So let's go ahead and get, I used some liquid glass on there so it would look kind of wet and shory kind of thing. Our palm fronds, as you can see, we have the light and the dark, and I am doing 2 in dark and 2 in the light side of the cardstock, so I can figure out which one I want to use. I made an extra 1 or 2 just in case, which I can use for a future program that I might do or layout that I may do. I'm speeding this up so that you don't have to suffer through all my stamping. I want you to count, and maybe in the description tell me how many twists that you see in this video. I'm curious to see how many y'all will catch and see how many, who's right. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the trunks of the palm trees. As you can tell, there's a little palm tree design kind of thing going on there. You can stamp and then cut, or do it the hard way, which is how I do. So that's what it looks like. You can see the dark part that's not done versus the part that's done. Sort of, kind of, I think. Again, I'm going to stamp the extra ones and save it for a future project. I've been having a heck of a time with this program today, so I'm hoping that we will be able to get through it without too many interruptions. There we go. Last one. Yay, done. So now I've got the chairs and the bag and some sunglasses. So I'm going to go ahead and get the chairs in 2 colors. I'm going to use the candy apple red and then the distress oxide. And so again, all the description with all the items and things that I used will be on the bottom, along with the name of the other consultants and all their twists. So make sure you check them all out. So I'm going to go ahead and peel that off. If you've never used a stamp before, make sure you season it by rubbing it with your hand or on your somewhere on your skin, your forearm, so that it will get seasoned and you can get a nice crisp imprint. Also use the little foam that comes with our acrylic pads, so that gives you that extra cushion. Again, helps with the good coverage with your stamp. I'm going to use the Distress Oxide because I love how bright it is, and I kind of wanted to use some mixed media instead of just the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the stamping of the canvas on the chair so that we can move right along. So let's go ahead and get the little pocketbook or purse ready. I'm not going to color it in. I'm just going to use candy apple red and just leave it as it is. Make it a little different. And there we go. Pardon my hair. I have my head in the middle of the way. So here we go. So we're ready with that. That's done. So I'm going to use this coffee cup from Coffee Helps Stamp and Thin Cut and do something different with it. Hope you're ready. So I'm going to take this, and of course this is double-sided colored paper, so I'm going to be using the darker side, and I'm going to cut the handle off. What will I be making with this? I think you've seen it already, so you already know what it is. I'm going to kind of trim it out. I could use my X-Acto, but I decided I was just going to use the scissors and be daring. It's going to look a little rushed and a little rugged, but it'll be okay. You'll see what it looks like after it's done. So I hope you're counting the twists, because they'll be coming. There's one or two, but there's actually more. To the next phase of this project and this beautiful layout, and we will go ahead and start doing the water, and you'll have to see what I'm using for to create the water. I am using the Distress Oxide, and when you see the stamp set, which you'll see at the end, you will understand what I use that for. So I will do this very quickly so that you do not get absolutely crazy bored with this. And you can see how quickly this goes. This section goes really, really quick, even though it's sped up. So let's keep on doing it. I did do it backwards. I'm doing this whole page backwards, so I probably should have done that first. And so I'm curling down the brown paper, and you'll see me do that again on one more thing, but it's okay. You can learn on how you can adjust and make it work. Here are the palm fronds that I stamped and the trunks of the trees. So we are getting ready to press on with the mounting, kind of trying to figure out where I would like to put those chairs and where I would like to put the fire pit. Yes, the fire pit. So I'm going to go ahead and play with these palms and figure out the best place to place them. I'm thinking that maybe one should touch the other. We'll see how this works out. So let's see how these palms work out. I'm going to go ahead and apply the liquid glass and just go around it. It's okay. And the tip was cut off so I could have a bigger flow, nice and thick, just to make it look like the waves are foaming, crashing on the seashore. Just give it a little bit of a different effect. It will take a few hours for that liquid glass to dry, depending on how thick it is. I usually leave it overnight. I'm going to go ahead and get the chairs, beach chairs, set in place with the little beach bag, I guess is more appropriate, and the hat on there. I'm going to make some fire for the fire pit, and this comes from the coffee stamp set. Hint, hint. And I will be using some red and some yellow to make it look like the fire. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it out and slip it in to make it look real, and then just put some drawing some little lines across it and just kind of give it that dimensional look. And where to place it. Ah, there we go. Again, I messed up, so I have these little grains that look like sand, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it around and just do the best I can. Because it's directional, I can do it horizontal or vertical, so I can just make it work. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up, and I'm going to pull out my 2-inch circle that came with this new stamp set and thin cut, and it has a perfect 2-inch circle. I'm using the Sundance and placing it up there in the corner, and I'm going to then go ahead and get my sentiment. I put all my stamps on the carrier to make sure I don't lose them and be able to clean them. So I'm going to go ahead and get the sentiment stamped on there, and I'm going to be using the Harbour ink, which is my new favorite color, and I'm going to use that for my sentiment and for my flying seagulls, my birds. And it says, take time to enjoy the simple things. I love that stamp. And I'm going to, where are my birds? Here they are. Let me go ahead and get those moving onto the paper. And I'm going to stamp those in 3s. You know that we use the odd numbers to make sure everything is nice and balanced. I used some white ink that I had from a long time ago, and I'm using my blending brush and kind of making some whispering white clouds just to kind of give it a little detail. Now I'm going to do 3 3¼ by 4¼ mats and put some white cardstock for my pictures, and I think I'm going to have to move them down a little bit. Let's see how this works. I think that one, yeah, I'll have to do this ones to the sides a little bit further down, and maybe leave the middle one up a little bit. Just give it some dimension. And there you go. This page is done, and I will go ahead and see all the little details. And I will go ahead and do the second page because it is a repeat of the first page. It'll go a lot quicker. As you can see, I will be stamping and doing the same technique with the water and the tearing of the brown paper. And I will also then be putting an umbrella and some sandals on the corner and some seashells. So let's go ahead and see how this page comes out. Well, as you can see, I added a palm tree, and now we have 3 palm trees, some starfish, sandals, and an umbrella. The mat is a 4 by 6 and 2 3x4s, with the matting being 4¼ by 6¼ and 3¼ by 4¼ So the photo mat and the matting behind it is the same, pretty much. Don't forget to use your liquid. I hope you like this 2-page layout. If you do, please share, like, subscribe, and write a comment. Please make sure you watch the other Twisted Sisters. See you next time. Bye.